Okay, I am so blessed to have two incredible people, one to my right, one to my left. I got Harvey Wiesenberg, our ex-assemblyman to my right, Cliff Scuden for Scuden Surf. They've both done such amazing things. And we're going to talk a lot tonight about the book, For the Love of a Child, my life, my city, my mission. And I want to start it off in dramatic fashion. This book is not only great, but it's a value. Harvey, I'm going to give you $15 that I know goes to, it all goes to a good cause, non-profit. And here's $15, but included in the $15 is a $2 bill that brings good luck.
It looks like a $3 bill.
It's a $2 bill, and Harvey signed it to me, and I'm blessed. I want to read what Harvey wrote to me. I want a personalized copy. My man James Hodge has arrived. Let's give it up for James. Yeah. Dear Howie, with love and appreciation for all you do for all people, God bless. Love, Harvey and Ellen. And let's have James join us on the panel. James, come on up. Let's get James Hodge on the panel with us. Let's have another chair. And this is going to be awesome. I mean,
Next to Dad.
all right. Let's bring the chair over there then. We got an amazing panel here tonight.
Sorry.
And James, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you.
Folks, I want to give you a little background about how I met James Hodge. Back in the day, I was doing a show one night a week at WGBB for about 1 hour. I heard about this guy who also did a show at WGBB. But wait, I did a show 1 hour a week, and that was cool. But then they talked about this guy at the station called the Boy Wonder. 5 nights a week, from midnight to 6 a.m. That's what James Hodge did for several years. 5 days in a row, from midnight to 6 p.m. And not only did he host the show, he did the board and everything. So that's the man, and now he runs the MLK Community Center. But we're going to start tonight. Harvey, you've done so much for the community. Tell us how this whole book happened. Tell us the story, the genesis behind this great book.
For the Love of a Child. This book was written because I feel that God gave me an angel, a saint, and a mission. The angel is a special child who could never speak or cry and is blind, but he gives love. The saint is my wife, who dedicated her life to our 5 children, but especially to Ricky, because Ellen's happiest days were taking care of this special child. And Ricky has one asset that has changed people's lives. He gives love. The book was written to make the world aware that special children give love. Because so many people in our society, the most discriminated people in our society are people with disabilities. And so many people don't take the time to really understand that God, and I say this very sincerely from my own life experience, has given me more love than, it's called unconditional love. That if you take the time to understand and see why God put the population here of need, then you have an understanding what life is really all about and what love is. And there's the love that I'm going to share with you. It's called unconditional love. And I can share this with you because of my own life experience, taking care of Ricky. Ellen's happiest days were taking care of Ricky because she felt his love. After Ellen passed away 3 years ago, and I'm taking care of Ricky and being with him, I was holding his hand and feeding him. And I was telling Ricky how much Mommy loved you and how much I love you. And you're such a good boy. And he squeezed my hand. And I felt like something from heaven went through my body. And I started to cry because I never had that feeling before in my life. And I wanted people to understand why our families and so many people are in denial and really don't understand that God put special people here. And what we have to do in our society is to learn to appreciate, give love and support to those people who are challenged. And this is interesting because the two people with me, Cliff and James, and many people that I have known, being a special ed teacher and a school administrator for 20 years, being a police officer, and I was a PBA president in Long Beach, being a lifeguard on the beach. I utilized all the resources and opportunities that I had in my life to be able to direct what I have learned in life, to be able to use to help people with disabilities. What a wonderful story to be told. And in this book, For the Love of a Child, this book is now international. People from out of the country. I mean, there's a story to be told about a youngster who, when Ricky went to a camp where they have a one-on-one from somebody from other countries taking care of them. And I'm saying this to you because it's worth hearing, because it's unbelievable. Camp Loyaltown, AHRC camp upstate New York, which I have gotten funding for, hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years. As an elected official, I had that ability to get resources. And Ricky was up there. He went up on Saturday. Ellen and I were there Sunday, want to see who's going to take care of Ricky. Remember, he can't speak or cry. And he's there with a person, an 18-year-old youngster by the name of Chris. And we see he's kind, he's nice, and he's gentle. And that was good. And so Ellen and I took pictures and we left. I want to share this with you. 6 years later, I get a letter from England. It's Chris writing a letter. And his letter says how Ricky changed his life. Do you hear what I just said? He can't speak or cry. He couldn't speak. He's totally severely disabled. Severely what they called retarded. He couldn't have the ability, but he had knowledge and he has feelings. The answer really is, this young man is now just finished school. He is working with children with special needs because he had that 1 week experience with our son Ricky. That's an amazing story. You tell me that God isn't working. But that's just one incident. I still get birthday cards for Ricky, who is 60 years old, from people who took care of him over 20 years ago, saying how Ricky was so good and he had Ellen's disposition. Kindness, soft, never showed anger. I have a child that never did anything wrong. I don't know any other parent can say that. But Ricky, and our special child, is a child who never did anything wrong, and he gives love. So this book, the purpose, is how Ricky changed people's lives and how we have worked. And I'm sharing this and I'm making you aware. In the last 4 years as a state legislator, the governor took $90 million out of the budget in 2013. $90 million out of mental health. And I said, how can this ever happen? So I went to the governor, Andrew Cuomo, and I said to him, Andrew, how can you do this? Your mother worked in a group home. Your father and I, Mario Cuomo, worked for 8 years helping these people. And he said, I'm the governor and I can do what I want. Well, I can't tell you what I said to him. But he wasn't very happy. But I'm the only person in the history of the state of New York that ever made a governor put money back into the budget after he took it out. I got the $90 million. Now this impacts every non-for-profit agency in the state of New York. That's over 500,000 people that are involved. And I want you to know, last year, I also advocating for direct caregivers, people who get paid less money than people flipping hamburgers in fast food stores make more money than people taking care of our families. And 14% of them have left. They can't pay their bills. So I said to the governor, be a hero, give them a living wage. Then the budget comes out, the governor's budget has a zero. I go to the Assembly and the Senate, of which I worked there for 25 years, and everybody is sympathetic to the fact that, and I made them aware on the speech that I made March 28th, 2013 on YouTube, where I told every legislator there, you're doing God's work. You're the voice of those who have no voice. And tonight, We have an opportunity to restore the $90 million because the impact of this money being lost would be devastating to the health and safety of our families. And of course, the bill passed unanimously. And then, as I said, last year I got $55 million to give them a 1 or a 2% raise. But the answer really is we have a terrific, terrific need. And we have to make people aware. If you look at the number one problem in our country today, what are they saying? 1 out of every 5 people is mentally ill or has mental health problems. So if we don't focus and focus on those people who have disabilities to work and improve and build upon what these people can do, not what they can't do. And I have people here that have proven for 20 years. I started a program many years ago, Surf for All. Jill Mulvaney, a parent of a special child, was with me when we first saw a professional surfer with his son on a surfboard. And when I came back to Long Beach the next year, I hosted it at home in Long Beach. And now 20 years later, we have a program that's nationally is known, it's admired and respected because we're doing impossible things. And last year, with Cliff Scuden, we opened up a surf camp for special children to teach them how to surf and to have a life experience that nobody ever thought could happen. And it's an amazing program that Cliff will define with you. But I want you to also know what we have with James. And we have a story to be told there. James, this is a good story. I have to tell this. James, I sent him to Albany for Black and Puerto Rican weekend. The caucus is up there. Every person of color from all levels of government in this state of New York and the country, federal, were there. And they introduced James. And James Hodge said, "My name's James Hodge. I'm Harvey Wiesenberg's son." Well, there were different kinds of looks going around the room. But he is like my son. And he'll tell you about that himself. But I want you to know about this book. All the money, I'm giving you the money for Surf for All because Surf for All is running a program for people with disabilities, and I have to help make sure that we have the resources necessary and the equipment. So I have to help the Scuden family to be able to do what they do. And they're miracle workers. Because I can tell you events and situations where, and I'll just give you 1 or 2, where I was with my wife Ellen on the beach, watching Surf for All take people with disabilities out there. And the father, after his child came in and ran over and hugged his father and said, "Wow." And I looked at the father's face because he had a very strange expression. And I said, "Are you all right?" And he said, "That's the first time my son ever spoke." Miracle worker. I can tell you another story. A young lady with Down syndrome whom I took care of since she was 5 years old. And now she was 16 years old, and I was going to put her on a surfboard, and she didn't want to go. And I said I had to make a decision here to break up a love affair between my youngster, who had Down syndrome, and put her on a surfboard. And I said, okay, she was crying, and I put her on the surfboard, and I said, "Cliff, take her out." Took her out. She came in, the biggest smile on her face, and she wanted to go out again. And she passed away last year, and we dedicated something in her honor. But I want you to know the happiness that she had and their family shared because of Cliff Scuden and the talent and the desire to help people. So we're blessed in Long Beach. I don't think any other community offers what we offer because Long Beach is a small town and it's a community of love. Now all we need to do is have them love each other and respect. And I thank you for this opportunity. Everybody from all over the world. I have different people from different countries calling me on the book, saying how much they appreciate, families especially with children, because nobody's ever heard or is aware of the unconditional love. It's a positive book of love that's available if people will only take the time to be involved and help and support the people that need us the most. Thank you and God bless.
Howie Wiesenberg, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
just want to bring to view that the Olympics are going to have surfing in it. So I've contacted we're trying to get Special Olympics to be able to, if they're gonna have an Olympic event, I want a special Olympic event, because I told people at the highest level in Schenectady that Long Beach has 20 years of experience with professional volunteer surfers who've taken people with disabilities out. And we should be the home host for a model program for Special Olympics surfing, and it should be in Long Beach. We not only have the ocean, and we have a community, but we have the people here who have given many years of their life and their experience to be able to meet the needs of those with disabilities, to be able to be welcome to our community. And we send them donations, and yet I can't get any kind of definite answer. But we did have contact, verbal contact, to thinking about Special Olympics and tell me a better place in this country than what we have in Long Beach. So I'm hoping that there will be some kind of a future, because nobody's better to be able to host this than the students and the family and the people that work with us. One more thing that people will not believe, but I'm down there because I'm working. I'm still a lifeguard on the beach. By the way, I'm going to let you know how Cliff really got involved, because he was a lifeguard and he was sitting on the beach, and I said, if you want to still remain a lifeguard, I'm not going to certify you unless I get your body out there with a kid. And he said, okay. But he came in, he had a smile on his face. It changed his life. And I saw that his heart was sticking out in his face with a big smile. So we are successful in Long Beach.
Tell a little story. I want Harvey to reflect on this. About 3 years ago, it was early in the morning. My wife looks at me and she says, why do you get all dressed up today? And I said to her, I'm not going to work. She says, what do you mean you're not going to work? And I said that I wouldn't miss Ellen Wiesenberg's funeral. I got to be there for Harvey. And sitting right behind me was, just to show you how devoted people are to this man, Sheldon Silver was involved in a trial and all over the news, and yet he was there for Harvey, sitting right behind me. And you know, the stories that day really touched my heart, and it truly was a storybook marriage. And one of the things from that funeral, when Harvey gave it, the eulogy, was saying that you had so much love for Ellen. She had so much love for you that there was so many nights you just never wanted to go to sleep. You never wanted to turn the light off, because you just wanted to talk and share with each other all night long, and that sleep could wait, but you wanted to spend any moment, every moment with Ellen, and just never forget how that touched my heart. So talk about that storybook marriage for 50 years and what Ellen meant to you and your family. And I just, that day I'll never forget. It was just such a celebration of a wonderful life.
Well, follow up on that. I thank God I'm not mourning Ellen, because as long as I'm alive, she's alive. We're one person. And I want to share with you that Ellen, and I can say this, when I said we have a mission, it was interesting. Channel 5 came down to interview me. I was the first double dipper in the state of New York. What does that mean? That means I was 75 years old. I had about 58 years in the retirement system as an assemblyman. And I became a headline in papers and television because the controller's office called me and told me, you know, if you die, your wife doesn't get a pension. I said, excuse me? I said, I've been working for so many years, and I dedicated my life to public service, but the only way you get a pension is that you have to retire. And you could have done this 10 years ago, retired and still keep your job, because I was an elected official. It was legal, it was not illegal, and yet I became, Channel 5 did their thing. I was on the wall of shame or something. So I invited that reporter down there, and he said to me, why don't you get out and give somebody else a chance to go in here and serve? And I said, because God gave me a mission. Now I'm going to tell you, this many years later, 7 or 8 years, so I got out in 14, these years later, I've given away my pension, because Ellen and I said that God gave me the mission, and my mission is still ongoing. And that's why I have given away, and I don't like to say this because my kids were not very happy, and I'll make you smile because I told the boys, when I die, you're going to inherit one thing from me. They said, what's that? I said, you're going to be bald. That didn't go over so big. But the answer really is we've given away over $500,000 to hospitals, to not-for-profit agencies. And I'm telling you, we have endowment scholarships that anybody who's going to be a nurse, who's going to work with special children, is going to have an education or have a scholarship from Adelphi University, a Rickey scholarship from Hofstra, Stony Brook Hospital. Even other places are getting resources because of the funding that we feel are going to be going to people who are going to need it the most. And this is a way of saying thank you. And again, I want everybody to understand what public service, what that means. Public service is meaning doing things for others. And I want to tell you, when I got a doctorate degree from Hofstra, I gave a speech and I said, the rewards of being in public service, the success in life, is the thank yous that you get for helping people. And now we're sitting here with people who help people, because everything all of you are participating in is making people aware and hoping that we can change the behavior and get away from the anger and violence that exists in our society and think more about giving love. Even in their own families, this is a different world today. Communications are disappearing. People don't go to church. People don't go where they're supposed to go. People don't reach out. And politics today appears to be power and money instead of what's best for our people. So let's change the world. If everybody learns to give love, the love you give is the love you'll get back. And thank you for this opportunity. Now I'm hoping that the world will learn from our life experience, and everybody think about giving love and help to others. It'll make you feel better about yourself. God bless you all.
Thank you so much.